Hello, and welcome back to the Test Drive Podcast, brought to you by Sport Car USA. I'm your host, Lee Bodette. Here at Sport Car USA, we love all things fast. From stock Corvettes to tuned-up Hellcats, we love it all. So buckle up and come for a ride on this week's episode of Test Drive.
Well, hi there, everybody. Welcome to our Test Drive podcast number 25, if you can believe it or not. Almost a half year of these podcasts. We're having lots and lots of fun. I'm Lee Bodette, your host, along with Sport Car USA's Scott Nickerson. Hi there, Scott.
How are you, Lee?
Very, very good. Looking forward to an upcoming show tomorrow night. We're going to get into that in just a moment here. I've been a radio broadcaster for over 40 years. I host a series called Test Drive on the YouTube channel. I'm the frontman and host of Sport Car USA and a car enthusiast my entire life. So when I say that I've been a radio host, I have been. There's a show on Sunday mornings called the Sunday Morning Radio Flea Market. It's on 98.9 WOKO, based in Burlington, Vermont, but it reaches all over the state of Vermont and northern New York. Been doing that show for 34, 35 years.
Longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's not get into that. But I, of course, have done the show every Sunday for those 30-plus years. Now, with Sport Car USA being so important, number one, and successful, number two, maybe not necessarily in that order.
No.
I've backed off and doing the show about once a month, maybe twice a month. So
yeah, because you're pretty heavily involved with Sport Car USA, on the weekends, especially with going to events. And we've gone to a lot of car shows the last few weeks, and end of August, September is a pretty busy few months for us. So
yeah, you're right, Scott. We have done an awful lot. Sport Car USA is about 3 years old now, right?
Yeah, going into our fourth season, I guess.
And I would say we're getting close to $2 million in sales as far as sport cars, buying and selling muscle cars all over the world, really. Mm-hmm. And we've had some really, really great success stories, and it's been a whole lot of fun, as mentioned previously. Let's do a little recap, Scott, if you will, on what's been going on in 2023. Of course, there's a lot of prepping before our first showcase. In May is when we had it, and it didn't rain. We actually had that one.
Yep.
But there's a lot of prepping that goes into these events. Can you explain?
Yeah, well, like you said, our first showcase was in May, and we had it at our downtown dealership, which is a little bit smaller than where we're having our last event. And it's a little more intimate. We had probably 30 cars, maybe 40 cars.
Yeah.
We have music, food, and it's a good time. People come and show their cars, and we get to show off some of our cool inventory.
Now, 30, 40 cars doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I guess you have to explain the venue and how much room we had.
Yeah, it's basically a corner of two major roads that run through St. Albans.
Right.
There's Main Street, and then I can't remember the name of the intersecting street. Fairfield,
I believe.
Fairfield.
Yeah.
But it's not a huge lot. It's one of the handy cars lots that's for used cars, and it's not big. It fits about as many cars as we had in there.
Sport Car USA is a Handy affiliate. Mm-hmm. Handy has been known in this area. We're in northern Vermont, but Handy goes way back 75 years. We have the Handy Toyota store. We have the Handy Chevy store. There are a lot of subsidiaries of this name, but not necessarily using the Handy name. There's Sport Car USA, of course. There's Handy Downtown, which is where really Sport Car USA is based out of.
Yeah, that's where it kind of all started.
Right. And then we have our warehouse, an undisclosed location, as you've heard many times. Mm-hmm. There's also St. Albans, Rent-A-Car.
Yeah, there's
Rail
so many
City,
things.
There's Novus Glass.
Yep.
So there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And you and I are pretty much associated with the Sport Car USA. So back in May, we did get our first show underway, and this is kind of a good kickoff show. We probably won't have that next May at that location because it's just too tight, and it's really kind of dangerous. A lot of people, a lot of cars going up and down Main Street.
I think there's a lot of positives to that venue just because there's a lot of foot traffic, and you get a lot of... It's right in the downtown area, so you get a lot of that. People going like, oh, this is going on, and you get passerby. But I think we outgrew that location.
I agree.
Sport Car USA has grown a ton in the last few years, and I really do think we outgrew that location.
No question about it. You mentioned people driving by, but also there are some restaurants in St. Albans that are right across the street from Handy Downtown. /Sport Car USA. So
Yep.
we're yelling across the street, come on over after you finish your meal, right?
Yeah. Well, and they get a show a little bit too. They can see from some of the outdoor seating what's going on. So
You mentioned that Sport Car USA has grown leaps and bounds, and it really has. We've got a full-time staff. And one thing we do want to kind of tease the podcast audience here today is that we're looking into Sport Car USA apparel that people will be able to purchase.
yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm going to purchase it
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah, we've
even
already
though I
had
work
people
here.
asking, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping I can get a little bit of a discount, just
Maybe just a tad.
a little bit, but I don't care. I'm buying anyway. I love everything that we
The
do.
logo
so.
is great. Sport Car USA logo is really great. And we're talking about shirts and golf shirts, T-shirts, that is, backpacks.
Just
you
about
name it, right?
anything you
kinda
could put a
looked
logo
into
on.
it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. And just about anything that we could put our logo on, we'd be happy to give out to people. So
Will be a lot of fun. So keep listening to these podcasts. We're hoping to launch our apparel sometime this winter, probably.
yeah, it'll be probably a good winter project.
Yeah.
So later this year, beginning of next year.
We'll keep you informed, that's for sure. Our May showcase was a success, as it usually is. No rain, and I keep bringing up the rain part because we have not had one since.
Yeah, well, that goes into kind of what you were saying earlier with all the preparation that goes in.
Right.
And we've almost done as much preparation for our shows this year as we have actual shows.
Right.
We had the June and July shows both get rained out, and we got lucky last year. I think we had one get rescheduled or rained out.
Just one, yeah.
But we've really had like shocking luck with the weather with some of our events, and this year has been the complete opposite.
Right.
It's rained almost every opportunity it could.
No question
And
about
been
it.
nice the day before the show. It was beautiful and sunny every time.
Or the day of the show where we canceled it the day before because you can't leave people hanging.
Right. People got to have time to get ready and
Yeah.
prep their car. And
Ends up being a beautiful day.
yep.
But then it starts to rain, and actually we all cheer.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make us look like we're out of our mind wrong.
Yeah. That happened last month with the July show. It was like really nice all day.
Yeah.
And then it started to get dark and rain. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Because once you cancel an event like that, it's like anything. You cancel it, you feel really bad.
yeah.
But it's not just us, because it's just been that kind of a summer here
Yeah.
in
It's a
northern
monsoon.
Vermont. Then you're almost hoping that the weather turns bad the day of the scheduled event.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I feel. It's like, please don't let it be sunny all day and all night. It's going to be nice and warm and no rain. Because then
That's the last thing you want.
That really is. So.
Because that's one of the things with anything like this. It's about the momentum that you're building.
Right.
So we spend, after one showcase is done, we spend the entire next month or so building up the hype for our next showcase. And we've had to delay it 2 months. So we haven't had a showcase since May. The last time we had one at this venue was this time last year.
Right.
So it should be really big. We got a lot of people. It's a free event. We got a lot of people signed up, which isn't mandatory, but it's nice to kind of get information so we can keep people updated. But we've got 40-50 people already pre-registered before the show is even happening. So
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Some of the other things that we are responsible for, or we have done with Sport Car USA, we put out a calendar late last year. Still have some copies of that. So if you are interested in getting a calendar, just get a hold of us at sportcarusa.com.
Yeah, last year we put together a calendar, and it was kind of digging through. It wasn't something we had anticipated making, basically. It was something like kind of towards the end of the year. They're like, we should really do this. A lot of people love car calendars. So it was a lot of me digging through folders and hard drives, trying to find some good pictures to use for that. So the next one's going to be another leap above that one, because we know we're going to do another calendar. So we know it's going to be top notch, and I've already got a good collection of pictures ready for
starting
it.
to gather.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it is almost September, so we got to get those ready
soon.
before the holidays, right?
That's crazy how quick that came up.
Yeah, it really is.
We're towards the end of the year already.
Yeah. So we are supported by a wonderful ownership group and general manager.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done this piecemeal. It hasn't been like, okay, that's not in the budget. I would say just about anything that we, as kind of the management of Sport Car USA, have asked, they have delivered.
Yeah.
And that's nice to have that support.
Yeah, I think it helps that they're just as passionate about Sport Car USA as we are. I know, especially like you said, our general manager, this is all kind of started as a pipe dream.
Yeah.
We started with like a couple Corvettes or whatever, a couple Camaros, and they were like, why don't we just buy more of these.
Yeah.
And then you buy more and more and more. And then it became what it is today where, going towards the end of the year, we're still holding over 20, 25 vehicles in our inventory.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, it grows even more. And, we're buying cars all year round.
Yeah, you talked about the calendar. We get short of T-shirts. He says, just buy more. Let's get more.
Yeah.
How about koozies? Yeah, let's get some koozies. How about some pamphlets? That
Right here.
yeah, there it is right there. Very sharp, I might add.
like
Those are
them.
thick koozies, and they actually do work.
Yeah, I've gotten some in the past from other places where they're super thin and
Right.
they don't actually help keep your drink from warming up.
Yeah. I'm not saying we have an unlimited budget because we don't.
No.
However, they've been very receptive. The ownership group here at Sport Car USA is very receptive to our needs and our wants and our suggestions, desires.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
Yeah, and touching on the show that we were at a few weeks ago now in Waterbury,
Right.
is we had people coming up to us already knowing about us too,
Yeah.
which is huge. That's the brand recognition and things like this and T-shirts. That's all part
Yeah,
of it.
it's really national. It's gone national, and I think when we do get our apparel out there, you're going to be getting requests from all over the country.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of people that work at the Handy Toyota location that when they heard we were doing merchandise, they were waiting to buy stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, people that work here, it's like, if they asked if they could have a free T-shirt, we'd probably say, sure, no problem. But
Yeah.
they're asking, hey, are you going to have other types of
jackets
merchandise?
and backpacks.
Yeah, backpacks, as I mentioned. So we'll get into that. Let's recap again. We had the event in May at the Handy Downtown location / Sport Car USA. June was canceled. July,
Also canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
August,
That's tomorrow.
but it was canceled.
Yep. Yes.
this time with
yeah,
rain
that's
dates.
true. So because the July event was canceled, we kind of went into the last show being like, we're not canceling it completely again. We have to have this show. We have a lot of people looking forward to it, and we can't really just be like, oh, see you next year.
Exactly.
I don't want that.
We got to have something.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be, when you're hearing this on Friday, it was supposed to be last Friday, the 18th. We had a rain date scheduled for the day after that, the 19th. Both of them didn't look good for weather, so we pushed it to our very last rain date, the 25th, which is today when you're hearing this, and it looks like it's going to be perfect. The rain is going to be around like 7:30 in the morning, but it should clear out and dry.
Yeah.
And we should have like a nice cool evening. So
This is one of those where we do not want to not have this event. It's going to happen one way or the
it's
other.
rain or shine, but there's definitely people that will only come if it's shine.
Yeah, we were talking earlier off this podcast, talking with Scott Nickerson. I'm Lee Bodette, your host of this podcast, that if it rains in the morning and rains heavily, will people still come if there are puddles at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that...
Hope so.
Yeah, I think even if there's any wet spots, like standing water in our lot, then we're going to dry it. We'll find a way to vacuum it or, like shop vac it up or put speedy dry down.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find a way to dry it if it does get a little wet.
I did see a notice that they want all of us to bring our Hoover vacuum cleaner home
Yeah.
in case we need
Some sponges and squeegees. Yeah.
Yes. The way this works is with Handy Automotive being our parent company, Handy Chevy, Handy Toyota, and probably another hour or two, as I look at my watch, which I'm not wearing, another hour or two, we're going to clear the entire lot.
Yeah. Everything is going to be gone except maybe some trucks. Some of the nicer trucks will be sticking around just to show off a little bit, but it's going to be a lot of empty spots for these cars. So we're going to fill it again.
And Handy Toyota, Handy Chevy, Handy Downtown, which is off campus here, they're still going to be open. So if you want a wheel and deal on a vehicle, we're going to have sales reps to talk to you. But don't be stunned as if you drive in and say, whoa, this is a ghost town. What the heck happened? Are they both going out of business?
I can't remember if I was talking to you or someone else about it, but it's going to be a weird in between when they clear the lot and when all the car show people get here. It's just going to look like a wasteland.
Because we've invited anybody that wants to come. This is a family event. It's not just for car enthusiasts. Obviously, it's going to be huge for car enthusiasts, but not necessarily. You might have family members, kids that haven't been introduced to these modern muscle cars. And I say modern muscle cars, we're inviting everybody. So if somebody has an antique Model A,
yeah, I think we got some people signed up that have old like Tudors and all kinds. I think there's someone with a Model A or a Model T.
Yeah.
So our main focus for our stuff is modern muscle, but we're going to have anything under the sun. There's going to be an old Land Cruiser there. There's going to be some trucks and anything. There's lots of stuff. People might even bring some motorcycles. They're always welcome too. So
now, what's the vehicle that's not allowed? There is one vehicle that's not allowed.
As of right now, no EVs. It's all EVs. Internal combustion.
Oh, sorry, EVs.
Nothing against them. Just not our
we know it's great
show.
for the environment, but it's not our show. So you can come and observe, but no EVs will be on display.
Yep.
Damn it.
I know you have one now.
Yeah.
Not that you would show it off.
No.
But your Corvette will be there.
I may bring my Corvette. Yes,
you will.
absolutely. My 2020. I do have a 66 Mustang. So again, the difference in the types of cars that'll be here, you're going to see a lot of car clubs here as well.
Yep. Yeah, we've got quite a few. I know Steve Grenier, we interviewed him.
Right.
He'll be here with his club. So there should be lots of cool stuff.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to, as you enter the premises here, there's going to be 2 fire trucks, 2 ladder trucks.
Yep.
And they each will have a gigantic American flag.
Yeah. Look forward to some cool pictures on our Facebook pages.
Yeah.
The cars driving under it. I'm going to try and get some drone stuff flying underneath the flag and stuff. So
very patriotic as we are here at Sport Car USA, hence our logo with the American flag right there, right?
And we'll have someone local that'll be singing the national anthem to kick off the show.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a family event. We're going to have food and creamies there. And I looked up
maple creamies.
I wanted to make sure, because there's a couple different ways that people spell creamy. And the way I've always known it is Creeme. That's the way I've always spelled it.
Yeah, and I was thinking Cremee. No double E
to
start.
Well, I looked it up. I just typed it into Google to make sure I had the spelling right.
Yeah.
And then I went down a rabbit hole, and apparently there is a difference between creamies and soft serve. It's not just us weird Vermonters calling it something different. Apparently creamies have a higher fat content and more air.
Just like a sub sandwich can also be called a grinder.
Heroes.
At certain parts of the country.
So we're not completely strange for calling them creamies.
Jeans could also be called dungarees. Have you ever heard that one? Dungarees and jeans. Oh, well, depends where you grew up.
Guess so.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have the fire trucks, as I mentioned, with the American flags. And people are encouraged to pre-register for this event, but we don't want people to feel, oh, I didn't pre-register, so I can't go. Ridiculous. Of course you can come.
Oh, yeah.
We'll register you the day of the show. Anybody that does register, whether it's pre or post, we're going to give you some kind of merchandise.
Yep. I think we're doing T-shirts. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got some hats, visors. Yeah. We'll have a bundle of stickers that people can have. Right. I think we have 2 different kinds. One that's just our logo and one that's specific to our showcases. Yeah. So we have all kinds of goodies. And again, let us know if you want specific things for merchandising stuff in the future, and we can probably make it happen.
And what I like is that with the different properties involved here, different salespeople, not every salesperson is affiliated with Sport Car USA. However, it's a total team effort, the Handy Automotive Group effort. Yep. Everyone seems to be very excited about it. The only time I don't think they'll be excited, Scott, is when it's time to move the cars back on Saturday morning.
So I think we're doing it the same night.
Oh, we are?
Yep.
Okay, well.
But it's more fun than if you had to do it with a bunch of the Toyotas. That'll be different. But moving all the sports cars, that can be fun.
That's true.
That's part of it.
We're going to take them back to that secret warehouse.
Yes.
Somewhere in Franklin County.
Lock them up.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Let's recap for tomorrow night.
Yes.
It's 5 till 8, August 25th.
Yep.
And come anytime, I would say after 3, 4.
Yeah, so registration starts opening at 4. If you get there a little early, obviously we'll be able to get you in still. But yeah, sometime between 4:15 and 5 o'clock, people will start rolling in with their cars, and we'll get them parked up. And we're going to try and put car clubs together. So if you come with a group, try and come with a group.
And let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know. Okay, I've got 5 other people coming from this group, so we'll make sure we space things out for you.
Yeah.
We're very accommodating.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to have a lot of space.
And when people come in, they drive in, we have a long driveway, talking about the flags, but we will have somebody taking pictures of your car underneath the flags or very close to them.
Yeah, and if we do this right, in theory, if you share your information and you register, then we can match that information and send you a high-resolution copy of your car.
Yeah.
You can get some prints made or whatever. And normally, this podcast is released at 5 p.m. every Friday. and that's when our show starts. So I think this one we're going to release a little early. That way you can take a listen before the actual showcase starts, and then you'll be prepared for the show.
Right. Now, there is no charge for this event at all. It's all for free. But
Food,
there is
everything.
also something going on for a young man in this community.
That's right. Yes. Asher Lawrence will be there with his family, and they're fundraising to get, I believe, a mobility vehicle, a vehicle that accommodates wheelchairs, so that he can go get his treatment down in Boston, I believe.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, people here are so giving.
Yeah.
I just know he is going to raise a lot of money.
I know that's the other unfortunate part about having to cancel our shows is any proceeds or any donations, anything is all going to go to that.
Yeah.
So it sucks that we had to cancel the other shows because that's just more opportunities for them to get out there and raise some money.
That's just a great thing. So hopefully we can get lots of money for that young man. Certainly does deserve it and need it. Tomorrow night, 5 to 8 p.m., Sport Car USA. It's our showcase event. We're going to have
last one
of the year. Absolutely. We're going to have hundreds of cars here and hundreds of people. There's plenty of room, so you don't have to worry about that. After this, Scott, we head to the Adirondacks, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's a multi-day show. We'll be in Lake George, New York. So that should be fun. We'll definitely get some more interviews. And we will interview some people tomorrow night, too. So that'll probably be what you see for next week's episode.
Right.
But yeah, Lake George, that'll be fun. It's kind of like a little party.
It is.
We're going to have a lake. We're going to have a lake house there.
Yeah.
I'm going for some of a couple days there, and then I know that we'll get some good interviews. So
I know eventually we're going to get people from afar. Probably will tomorrow night here. But this Adirondack car show is one of the largest in the Northeast, if not
all
the
over.
Largest. All over the country. People come. They bring their cars on flatbeds and real serious car people.
Yeah, and they usually bring in a special speaker. I can't remember who it was last year, but it was from a garage show.
Yes.
I can't remember.
One of those on Motor Week.
Yep.
One of the guys there, I can't remember who it was, but you're right. They try to bring in a national spokesperson.
Yep.
Who will talk to the people and sign autographs. And
yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful area, like we've
gorgeous.
talked about.
Yeah,
so
absolutely gorgeous. Then after that, it's the street rods, the National Street Rods in Essex Junction, Vermont.
And we're organizing a cruise, the first ever for that show. So
correct. Yeah,
that should be fun. We'll get some stuff out there.
And then we'll just wrap it up and get to work on the apparel, get to work on the calendar.
Oh, yeah.
Brochures.
Tons of content.
On and on we go.
Yep. Absolutely. We're going to get out there and drive some stuff this fall.
Yes, for
hopefully take some stuff through Stowe. It's a beautiful area in Vermont. We'll find a convertible for ourselves to drive around.
Maybe my Corvette.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. It's very tight, very narrow up there at the Smuggler's Nut.
Hey, even if it's not on camera, we should.
Okay.
We'll do that.
We should definitely do that. So as you can tell, we are having a ball here at Sport Car USA, year number 3, and it's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. We want to thank everybody for listening to our podcast. We really do appreciate the support. We're getting lots and lots of feedback from people. And Scott, thank you very much for being with us today from Sport Car USA. We're going to see you there tomorrow night at the Sport Car USA Showcase. So thanks for listening, everybody, to our Test Drive podcast number 25. I'm Lee Bodette, your host. Be sure to check out our Test Drive series on the YouTube channel. And we'll see you next time on our next Test Drive podcast. And remember, let's never forget the men and women serving this great country of ours. Goodbye, everybody.